Good day to all. I am actually Elisha B. Daga-ang, Decimate 2 from Econ 122 73106 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. TTHS. This is my assignment number 12 entitled Chapter 19, The Theory of Open Economy. So to start, the first question is, explain the market for loanable funds and the market for foreign exchange. Two markets are central to the macroeconomics of open economies, the market for loanable funds and the market for foreign currency exchange. In the market for loanable funds, this is where savings and investment interact. It represents the equilibrium between the supply of saving from households and demand for funds by business and the government for investment and spending purposes. Here, the real interest rate adjusts to balance the supply of loanable funds from national savings and the demand for loanable funds for domestic investment and net capital outflow. In the market for foreign currency exchange, also known as the forex market, this is where currencies are traded. It determines the exchange rates for global currencies and involves the buying, selling, and exchange of different currency pairs. It is the world's largest financial market where trillions are traded daily. Here, the real exchange rate adjusts to balance the supply of dollars from net capital flow and the demand for dollars for net exports. Because net capital outflow is part of the demand for loanable funds and because it provides a supply of dollars for currency exchange, it is the variable that connects these two markets. Hence, the link between these two markets is established through the concept of net capital outflows. Second question is, explain the supply, demand, and interest rate of loanable funds. Where does it come from? The market for loanable funds operates based on the interaction between the supply of and demand for funds. In the supply of loanable funds, it's derived from savings. Individuals, businesses, and the government contribute to the supply of loanable funds by saving a portion of their income or revenue. The supply curve for loanable funds is generally upward sloping, indicating that as the real interest rate increases, the quantity of funds supplied also increases. In the demand for loanable funds, it comes from individuals and entities seeking to borrow funds for investment purposes. This includes businesses looking to finance capital projects and individuals seeking loans for various purposes. The demand curve for loanable funds is downward sloping, indicating that as the real interest rate decreases, the quantity of funds demanded increases. Now, the interest rate in the market for loanable funds is determined by the forces of demand and supply. It functions as the cost of borrowing and the return on savings. The equilibrium interest rate is found where the demand and supply curve intersects. At this point, the quantity of funds demanded equals to the quantity of funds supplied. If the interest rate were below the equilibrium level, the quantity of loanable funds supplied would be less than the quantity demand, resulting in a shortage of loanable funds. Therefore, the interaction of these three concepts states that a higher real interest rate encourages people to save and therefore raises the quantity of loanable funds supplied. On the other hand, a higher interest rate also makes borrowings to finance capital projects more costly. Thus, it discourages investment and reduces the quantity of loanable funds demanded. Third question is, what will happen to the country's economy if its trade policies are restrictive? Restrictive trade policies, such as imposing tariffs, quotas, or other barriers to international trade, can have several effects on a country's economy. In terms of its negative effect, it reduces economic efficiency, higher prices, slower economic growth, and retaliation and isolation. In terms of its positive effect, it results to protection of domestic industries and national security concern. Although trade policies do not affect a country's overall trade balance, these policies do affect specific firms, industries, and countries. Therefore, the effect of trade policies are more microeconomic than macroeconomic. fourth question is, what is capital flight? When a country experiences a capital flight, what is the effect on its interest rate and exchange rate? Capital flight is a large and sudden movement of funds out of a country. It is often due to negative monetary policy, currency depreciation, or other economic uncertainties. Somehow, capital flight is usually a symptom rather than a cause of financial crisis. Thus, a country experiences capital flight by various factors such as fears of default on external debt, exchange rate fluctuation, and declining interest rate. Capital flight can have a significant effect on a country's economy, particularly on its interest rate and exchange rate. In terms of its effect on interest rate, when a country experiences capital flight, the demand for loanable funds shifts to the left, leading to a decrease in the interest rate. This occurs because the outflow of capital reduces the availability of funds for lending, resulting in a lower demand for loanable funds. As a result, the interest rate decreases to balance the reduced demand for funds with the available supply. The government or central bank may also raise interest rate to try to make domestic investment more attractive and stem the outflow of capital. In terms of its effect on exchange rate, the effect of capital flight on the exchange rate can vary based on the specific circumstances. In some cases, capital flight can lead to currency depreciation, especially if it is driven by concerns about the country's economic stability or prospects. This depreciation makes the domestic currency less valuable relative to other countries, potentially leading to a decline in the exchange rate. As more domestic currency is sold and converted to foreign currency, its value relative to those foreign currency falls. In summary, when a country experiences a capital flight, the interest rate tends to fall due to the decrease in the demand for loanable funds, while the exchange rate may face downward pressure, potentially leading to currency depreciation. Capital flight is a complex issue with significant economic consequences. Understanding its causes and effects is crucial for a policymaker trying to maintain a healthy and stable economy. As Lastly, for the fifth question, what is the effect to the local and international economy if a fiscal policy will be implemented to buy only locally produced products? A fiscal policy mandating the purchase of only local produced products, also known as import substitution, can have a mixed bag of effect on both the local and international economy. In terms of local economy, its effects is first, it boosts domestic industries, second, protectionism, third, higher cost for consumer, fourth, reduced quality and selection, fifth, less innovation, and lastly, dependence on government support. In terms of international economy, its effect is trade disputes, impact on international trade, and harm to export-reliant economies. While buy local policies can have some short-term benefits for the local economy, the long-term costs to the local economy often outweigh the gains. Consumers end up paying more, and business may become less efficient due to the lack of competition. Additionally, protectionist policy can disrupt the international trading system and harm the global economy. So knowing about the open economy, the capital flights, and more, I hope you learned something in this assignment or activity. That's all. Thank you.